In today's video, we are going to be talking about 10 different types of intermittent fasting and how to know which one is best for you and your goals. Intermittent fasting is when you cycle between eating and voluntary fasting over a given period of time. It has exploded in popularity over the last few years, with many praising it for its weight loss, anti-inflammation, and healing benefits. But it can be confusing trying to figure out where to start with so many different variations out there. Should you do a water fast or a fat fast? Should you fast for 16 hours every day or 24 hours once a week? In today's video, we are going to break it all down, talk about 10 different types of intermittent fasting, and how to know which one is best for you and your goals. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kate. I'm a health coach and I post videos on a high-fat, nutrient-dense way of eating. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, feel free to share, and make sure to subscribe. And make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where I share new posts every single day. Today's video is sponsored by Adapted Nutrition. For electrolyte supplements specifically formulated for intermittent fasting, head to healthcoachkate.com/electrolytes and use code HCK10 to save 10% off your order. To fast means to abstain from eating, and intermittent fasting is when you have a fasting schedule. Modern wisdom has drilled into us that we always have to be eating. It is mandatory to have a hearty breakfast first thing in the morning and snacks in between meals. But the truth is that not eating for periods of time, aka fasting, actually has a lot of benefits. The most obvious of which is, of course, weight loss, but there are other mental and physical benefits as well. I won't get too into the overall benefits today because I do have another video that dives into that deeper, so I will link that up above and you can check it out afterwards. So there are two main ways to categorize fasting: by what you consume during the fast, and also by duration and frequency. So we will start off talking about the variations in terms of what you can consume, and then we will get into the variations in terms of duration and frequency. There are 6 main types of fasts when it comes to what you can consume: water fasting, wet fasting, dry fasting, fat fasting, egg fasting, and bulletproof fasting. Let's dive into each one. Water fasting. This is the most basic and common type of fasting. During a water fast, the only thing you can consume is water, and maybe electrolytes. This type of fasting has been practiced for thousands of years by different religions. One of the biggest benefits of only drinking water and not drinking or eating anything else is that it increases autophagy. Now, what is autophagy, you might be asking? I do have a whole video on autophagy, which you can check out afterwards, but here is the short explanation. Autophagy is a cellular process where your body cleans out damaged cells and regenerates new ones. So basically, any cells in your body that are not functioning properly, when autophagy is increased, these cells become recycled. Autophagy has the benefits of reducing inflammation and reversing and preventing certain diseases, such as Alzheimer's. And autophagy is triggered when there's an increase in glucagon. Glucagon is the hormone that signals your body to release stored energy, and it is the counter hormone to insulin. And this is as technical as I'm going to get today, but what you need to know here is that when you don't eat for periods of time, glucagon increases and autophagy is triggered. So if you are looking to fast to reduce inflammation, for healing, or for longevity, a water fast is going to be the best way to do that. Wet fasting. The label of wet fasting sometimes gets used interchangeably with water fasting, but I've differentiated them for today's video. A wet fast means that you can consume water, but also other low-calorie drinks, such as coffee and tea. Now, there is some debate over what other drinks you can have on a wet fast. Some people will drink kombucha, some will drink bone broth, and some will drink diet soda. But I think the question you need to ask here is, what are you trying to get from fasting? As we just spoke about, autophagy is triggered when glucagon increases and insulin is low. So if you are fasting to reduce inflammation or for healing, consuming drinks that increase insulin and decrease glucagon is going to be counterproductive. So to be safe, I would stick to water, black coffee, and tea. But if your reason for fasting is weight loss or overall health, then you do have a little bit more wiggle room. And I would say consuming any low-calorie drinks is okay. Dry fasting. And this is where things get a little bit more intense. When you are dry fasting, you do not consume anything, not even water. Some people will also take this to the extreme and not even touch water during the fast. So no washing your hands, no showering, and no brushing your teeth. It is said that 1 day of dry fasting is equivalent to 3 days of water fasting. But here's the thing. There are very few studies done on dry fasting, so there's little evidence to support this claim. Whereas there are thousands of studies supporting the benefits of water and wet fasting. So proceed with caution if you are considering a dry fast. Fat fasting. Fat fasting is when you consume mainly fat within your fasting window, at least 80% of your calories. This is typically done as a reset or to break through a weight loss plateau for someone who is fat adapted. The idea is you will get into a deeper state of ketosis by eating only fat and keeping calories under 1,200 a day. It is usually recommended to do a fat fast for no more than 2 to 4 days. So if you've been eating low carb or keto for a while and have hit a plateau, or maybe you've went off track and had a few cheat days, fat fasting might be for you. Egg fasting. An egg fast is similar to a fat fast in the sense that it is meant to help you break through a plateau or get back on track. The rules of egg fasting are a bit more particular though. You are supposed to eat at least 6 eggs per day, and for each egg you add 1 ounce of full-fat cheese and 1 tablespoon of oil or fat, such as MCT oil or olive oil. You should eat your first egg within 30 minutes of waking up and continue to eat every 3 to 5 hours. And this ends up being pretty similar to a fat fast in the sense that most of your calories are coming from fat. Honestly, I am not a big fan of egg fasts or even fat fasts. You're probably better off just doing a one-off 24-hour water fast to kickstart ketosis or break through a plateau. But some people swear by these types of fasts, so just know that they are an option. Bulletproof fasting. Bulletproof fasting is a type of intermittent fasting where you have a bulletproof coffee or drink early in the day and then do not have your first meal until the middle of the day. Bulletproof coffee is a coffee-based drink that has fat blended into it. Oftentimes, this is butter and MCT oil, but you can swap these for coconut oil, ghee, or cacao butter. The idea here is that you are extending your fasting window, in a sense. Yes, you are consuming a couple hundred calories in the morning and technically breaking your fast, but because all of the calories are coming from fat, your insulin stays low and you still reap a lot of the benefits, including increasing your metabolic flexibility. If you are just getting started with intermittent fasting, I definitely think that bulletproof fasting is a good place to start. It will help you to strengthen your fasting muscle and get used to not eating first thing in the morning. And even if you are not new to fasting, it can be great. I am a huge fan of bulletproof fasting and do it regularly. All right, so now we're going to get into the second way to categorize fasting, and that is duration and frequency. But before we do that, I'm just going to take a quick moment to tell you about today's sponsor, Adapted Nutrition. Adapted Nutrition makes electrolyte supplements specifically for intermittent fasting. And let me tell you, electrolytes can make fasting so much easier. Electrolytes are electronically charged minerals that control the balance of fluids in the body and regulate nerve and muscle function. Some of the most common ones include potassium, sodium, and magnesium. So if you're feeling lightheaded or dizzy during a fast, or maybe you are experiencing muscle cramps or heart palpitations, these can all be signs you are low in electrolytes. Consuming electrolytes on their own does not break your fast. However, most electrolyte supplements on the market contain added sugars, artificial sweeteners, and fillers, and these ingredients will break your fast. And that is where Adapted Nutrition comes in. Adapted Nutrition is committed to providing simple, science-based hydration products from natural sea minerals. Their Keto K100 electrolyte powder is one of my favorites, and I especially love it when I am doing an extended fast. If you want to check them out, you can head to healthcoachkate.com/electrolytes and use code HCK10 to save 10% off your order. Thanks again to Adapted Nutrition for sponsoring this video. Time-restricted eating. This is a type of intermittent fasting that is meant to be done long term. You set a time frame for your fasting window and for your feeding window. The most popular variation of this is 16-8. You fast for 16 hours and eat within an 8-hour window. So for example, you finish your last meal at 8 p.m. and do not eat again until 12 p.m. the next day. During the fasting window, you can do either a water, wet, or bulletproof fast. Other variations of this are 18-6, so you fast for 18 hours and eat within a 6-hour window, or 24, where you fast for 20 hours and eat within a 4-hour window. Generally, this type of fasting is done for weight loss, but it can also be done to increase mental clarity and improve metabolic flexibility. Circadian rhythm fasting. This is when you eat only when the sun's up, generally around 12 hours per day, give or take a few hours depending on the season. Again, this is meant to be done long term and has a lot of the same benefits as time-restricted eating. Alternate day fasting. Alternate day fasting is exactly what it sounds like. You only eat every other day. This means you'll be fasting roughly 36 hours, multiple times a week. This version of fasting leads to rapid weight loss, but it is also pretty difficult to stick to. One downside to this style of fasting is that it can lead to binging on the days when you are eating. You need to make sure you are in control if you want to attempt alternate day fasting, but it can be extremely effective when done correctly. During the fasting window, you can do either a water fast or a dry fast. 5-2 fasting. With this variation of intermittent fasting, you eat normally for 5 days out of the week, and the other 2 days you eat less than 600 calories. This variation is similar to alternate day fasting, but a little bit more manageable, as you are still able to eat something on your fasting days. With that being said, a lot of people find it is actually easier to abstain from eating rather than to restrict. So depending on your personality, which of the two you do better on can vary. And this type of fasting is mainly used for weight loss and weight maintenance. Extended fasting. An extended or prolonged fast is any fast lasting longer than 24 hours. Usually people opt for 24, 36, 48, or 72-hour fasts. While this type of fasting can lead to weight loss, the main benefits here are related to autophagy. There is evidence to suggest that autophagy really ramps up after 36 hours of fasting and peaks at 72 hours. This means that your body will be working in overdrive to recycle damaged cells, leading to healing and longevity benefits. Extended fasting is usually done less frequently than the other types of intermittent fasting we already spoke about. Monthly, quarterly, or even yearly, depending on how long you are fasting each time. Because autophagy is the main benefit here, usually extended fasts are done as water or wet fasts. And those are the 10 different types of intermittent fasts. Let me know in the comment section down below which of these you have tried. Was one more successful for you than the others? I read every single comment and I try to get back to as many as I can, especially if you comment on the same day I upload. So thank you for commenting, for liking this video, for subscribing if you're not already. I really appreciate your support. And remember to check out Adapted Nutrition for all of your intermittent fasting electrolyte needs. I will put their link in the description box down below. If you did enjoy this video, you might also like my video on bulletproof coffee, how to make it, and the benefits. I will link it right here. If you want to catch up on my most recent upload, you can find it here. And if you want to check out my keto diet and carnivore diet coaching programs, you can find them here. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.